call.
Sorry.
Okay. 7 p.m. July 14th, 2021. We'll call the Board of Trustees for Charter Township of Union to order. We'll begin with Pledge of Allegiance. And as always, our treasurer has a flag for us. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Treasurer Rice.
You're welcome.
Clerk Cody, would you be willing to get a roll call of attendance, please?
Clerk Cody here, Union Township, Isabella County, Michigan. Supervisor Milky.
Here, Union Township, Isabella County, State of Michigan.
Treasurer Rice.
Here, Union Township, Isabella County, Michigan.
Trustee Thering.
Here, Union Township, Isabella County, Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Trustee Hauk.
Here, Union Township, Isabella County, Michigan.
Trustee Brown.
Here, Isabella County, Union Township, State of Michigan.
And Trustee Bills is absent.
Thank you very much. Brings us to item 4 on our agenda, approval of agenda. I'd be happy to entertain a motion.
I make a
Motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Motion by Hauk, support by Brown. Discussion. Seeing nobody jumping up. Clerk Cody, we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Would you get a roll call, please?
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Hauk.
Yes.
Trustee Thering.
Yes.
Treasurer Rice.
Yes.
Supervisor Milky.
Yes.
Clerk Cody, yes. All yeses.
I was thinking ahead there and almost forgot what we were voting on. My apologies, but definitely a yes. We have no presentations tonight, no public hearings. That brings us to public comment. Public comment is restricted to 3 minutes regarding items on this agenda. If you choose to approach the public in this board, please state your name and address for the record. And I'm seeing no one from the public tonight with exception of reporter. And if that reporter would like to come forward, I'll give it just a minute. Seeing no one raising their hands tonight. So public comment was opened at 7:03 p.m. and will be closed at 7:03 p.m. That takes us to current list of boards and commissions, item 8A. I just want to point out, I noticed our Sidewalk and Pathways Committee. We made 2 recent appointments to that to fill that board, Mr. Seiler and Mr. Hertzler. Both their terms are up August 15th of this year, at least according to this document. So I guess I'll ask you, Treasurer Rice, do you know if they, at this point, would like to serve again? If they would, I would encourage them to fill applications.
I was gonna say, to be honest, I didn't really realize that, so I don't know for sure, but I would imagine, seems how they just got put on, that they're still interested, but I can reach out if you need me to.
Yeah, would you be willing to do so?
Yeah. Yeah.
And let us know, you know, if we need to be looking for someone else to potentially fill their spots, if that's the case, obviously.
Okay.
So.
Yep.
Otherwise, I don't have anything else on that unless somebody else does. So moving on, we'll go to board reports, item 8B on the agenda. And I'll start in the top right with Treasurer Rice.
So taxes went out, and people should have already received those. Other than that, nothing really new here, so.
Hey, Trustee Hauk?
Yes, I attended a Isabella County Road Commission meeting on the 24th of June. They approved 26 miles of chip seal. After all the contracts were put in, they finally got them approved. They hired a new mechanic on. Then they're also in negotiations with Apex Wind Energy about road damage caused by the construction of the windmills. There's possibly up to $11 million of road damage done to our local roads. So we're in negotiations with them, figuring out what needs to be done. And then I can't remember if Kim might know this, either the second or the third application of Brian got put on the roads our gravel roads the last couple of days.
So Bill, the damage to the roads from the wind turbine construction, is that just primarily from the weight?
Yep. Roads crowning, pavement crumbling.
Wow.
And it's especially like in Isabella and Nottawa Townships, obviously where most of the windmills are.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, they're pretty weird. Like I know I live right across the road from one, and one day I don't know what happened, but I mean my house shook. It was weird.
Mm.
They were out there pouring cement, and I mean my whole house shook. And I called our neighbor, and he said his shook too.
Crazy.
Pretty weird.
Thank you for that. Trustee Thering?
Nothing to report at this point or at this time. Thank you.
Trustee Brown?
Yeah, nothing to report tonight.
And Clerk Cody?
Nothing to report.
Wow, you're all making it easy tonight. Well, thanks for reporting, Bill. And I know, Kim, you had one as well.
No one likes mine.
Not a
It's
lot.
okay.
Yeah, I got my taxes. Just a couple things. Let's see. EDA, I just give you an update briefly on the EDA. Continue to move forward and if it hasn't been clear already, the EDAs, both West and East, and Rodney, you can correct me if I say something wrong here, both expire at the end of this year. And so what their main charge at this point is to renew and extend those DDAs for an additional decade. And so we did meet with county, both the chair of the commission and the county administrator. So that would have been Mark and Rodney, myself meeting with the county, just to kind of fill them in on what we're doing, because there is a legal process that DDAs go through to notify those that they are proposing capturing taxes from. But we, out of goodwill, wanted to make sure that they were in the loop. And so we had that meeting last week, I believe it was. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago now. But in any event, we did let them know what the EDA's plans are to kind of get their feedback, and we'll go from there. I will note also, just a point of interest, that I've received quite a few calls on the sheriff's complex. And to every phone call I've had so far, concerns have been alleviated as they've learned more about it.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of it is the lack of information or misinformation that's being spread. And in all cases, I've encouraged them to talk to the county administrator, Jim Horton, the chair of the commission, and or the sheriff, and all three have been more than wanting to take those phone calls. But what I found interesting is once people become more informed, there's less resistance to this idea of sheriff's complex in the location that's being proposed. And with that, that'll move us to our consent agenda, item 9 on our agenda. Be happy to entertain any motions. I also want to point out, if you didn't see it, for whatever reason, we do have an item G on there, which is contract renewal. I'm happy to entertain any motions regarding the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Let's see, motion by Hauk. I heard Cody first. Is that accurate?
Yep.
And Trustee Brown, I believe you were in charge of warrants?
Yes, I was. Everything.
issues
was fine.
there?
No issues at all.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion, any issues with minutes or anything else?
No.
Seeing no one coming forward, Clerk Cody, we have a motion to approve consent agenda as presented. Would you take roll call, please?
Trustee Thering,
Yes.
Treasurer Rice,
Yes.
Trustee Hope,
Yes.
Supervisor Milky,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Clerk Cody, yes. All yeses.
I just have one quick question.
Sure.
Do we just, are there just random drug screenings for employees? I noticed that there was a bill for drug screenings. Are they random drug screenings that we do, or are they for new employees?
We do both.
Okay, I just wondered. I wanted to make sure we were doing them. Not that, I'm just saying that I know a lot of,
We do pre-employment and random.
okay.
Isn't it required if you have a DOT driver's license?
EDL maybe, or with our federal
see.
contracts, there's some additional rules, but as a general rule for all our employees, we have random drug screening and pre-employment screening as a matter of rule or policy.
Clerk Cody?
I just talked to Connie Bills, or texted her, and she said she's sorry she can't make it. She's out of town right now.
Okay, well, good to know. They get your question answered, Bill and
Yes. Yeah.
James? All right, so we have the motion for consent agenda did pass. So that moves us to new business. And this is regarding Copper Beach Townhomes UB late fee waiver request. I'll be happy to hand this over to our manager if you'd like to introduce us, please.
Thank you and good evening, everybody. This is a request from the owner of Copper Beach Townhomes. There's a write-up that begins on page 44 of your agenda packet. They've requested a waiver of $6,593.17 of late fees that were applied to two water and sewer accounts that they have. The owner is HSRE Squad V Holdings, located in South Lake, Texas. There's no reason given in their request to waive the fee. Just as a reminder, the ordinance stipulates that there's 35 days to pay from the date of mailing. Otherwise, a one-time 15% penalty is applied to the bill. In this case, payment was due May 5th of 21. Payment was received June 4th. The administration recommends denial so as not to create disparate treatment amongst the customers of the system, and that's in accordance with governance policy 1.1.1.2, which speaks to non-discriminatory code enforcement. Yeah, answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for our manager? I have one. Is it possible, and I was just trying to maybe read between the lines on this. Is Copper Beach under new ownership in this last year? Do we know?
I don't know.
Not that I'm aware of.
And I asked that because of the comment in the letter from Mickey Webb saying I was not made aware of these accounts until June 4th. And that surprised me, that comment, because I thought, how can you not be aware of these accounts unless there was a transition of some sort? I mean, you get these bills quarterly, period. I was surprised by that.
It could be
New employee.
It could have been, I don't know if we have another notice after that, but can't speak to their internal operations.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions? If not, I'm happy to entertain any motions.
I'll make a motion to deny the request to waive the quarterly water and sewer penalty for Copper Beach Townhomes located at 4750 East Bluegrass Road, account number 04000, in the amount of $4,317.88, and 4775 Commons, account number 04275, in the amount of $2,275.29.
I'll support.
So we have a motion by Cody, support by Brown. Discussion? Not seeing any. I agree with the staff's recommendation on this regarding making sure that we treat all the same. There don't seem to be any special circumstances that I can see here. So I'm certainly in support of that motion. But unless there's no further discussion, last chance. Clerk Cody, we have a motion for denial of the request to waive the fees for both accounts. Would you be willing to take a roll call on that, please?
Clerk Cody, yes. Trustee Help,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Daring,
Yes.
Treasurer Rice,
Yes.
Supervisor Milky.
Yes.
All yeses.
It's going a little too smooth tonight.
We could set a record here tonight.
Let's see, that takes us to item 10B on the agenda, Global Ends follow-up. Everybody got the additional email from our manager
Yes.
Yes.
with the marked up version. With that, Mark, I don't know, would you like to do any introduction to what you distributed to the Board of Trustees?
Yeah, just for a quick second, just the board and the administration met on May 5th and then again on May 26th. So we've had 2 meetings discussing these ends. And then and after each of those meetings, I received feedback from most, if not all, the board members. We're working through those. So I've taken the input received from those 2 meetings and the documentation that I've received and tried to assimilate that. Some of the comments and suggestions were very similar. So I tried to then word it in a way and insert it into this draft and document. And if you printed it out, that there's deleted. I have added several items, and if you print it out in color, it's in blue. So this is an opportunity to continue that discussion, give any feedback on if you think I got any of this, if I missed the mark, or so I'll turn it back to the supervisor.
All right. This could be fairly informal here. Happy to. I'll jump in. So when we went through the ends last time, I thought I had deleted a couple items, but I deleted one item from the ends. And Mark, you asked me to send that to you, and I was reluctant to do that. And I can't even remember my excuse at the time, but I remember being a little reluctant to share that with you, at least at that juncture of this process. But there is one piece of the ends that it's not that it's not important. I just don't see it being part of the end. So I'll lift that up, and that's 1.1.2. And again, I don't want to downplay the importance of it, but I don't know that the community looks at us for
Mhm.
what their daily activities are going to be and what their resources in the region are. And, I hope they look to us for guidance with navigating local government and what we can do for them. And if they need assistance in navigating local resources, it's fine. I don't see that as a primary function or goal of the township. And maybe I'm missing something. So I kind of like to hear people's thoughts on that.
Which, Brian, I'm sorry, which end is that?
1.1.2, and Mark added to that two items, the word quality, and then more frequent opportunities for citizen board dialogue. And that second part, I think needs to be there. I think we've all talked about that. But it's the part above that, the 1.1.2 is one that I never quite got. And maybe it's just me not understanding it. But the reason I think it's important to make sure that everything that's on here belongs on here is this is what Mark and the staff look at as priorities to be done, right? And I don't want that being taking resources away from something that might be more important.
Would our website take care of most of that 1.1.2?
That's
Yeah.
what I would think, yeah.
So if that's the case, I mean, it actually serves a purpose. If somebody needs knowledge of something, they can look at that website.
Mhm.
And I hadn't thought of it that way. So that's maybe the part I was missing. Mark, as the CEO of staff, how do you interpret that? What does that mean to you as far as implementation?
It's a general statement that I've internalized as that one of the only statements currently in the ends that speaks to citizen engagement. But I've looked at it broadly, and when we're looking at our web page or looking at things to create interaction, that we're creating the interaction with the community because we want the residents to look to the township as the key information source.
Okay.
Whether or not they do or not, but I get both sides.
So I think my desire to pull that out, maybe premature listening to all of you, but maybe I just need a clarification on how that came, how the rubber hits the road on that one, right? So I'm good on that unless others have comments on it.
That's how I looked at it, more as something along those lines.
And maybe I'll, instead of community activities, I could say something like services or something a little more specific to what the township does day to day.
Okay, and I'm assuming that the insert of the word quality there, the intent based on our previous discussion, the intent of that was that we see ourselves as providing a service to our residents and businesses, right? I mean, that's directed towards quality of our service as a township.
Yes. Throughout the discussions, there was a lot of emphasis on quality, whether it be customer service or
timely response or
even, there's good and bad ways to do code enforcement. We want to provide a high level of service in exchange for the funding that the taxpayers are providing.
I mean, without providing a service, there's no point to the four walls of the building. I think we do a nice job, and there's many highlights that the township has, and so.
Well, good. Thanks for that. So if I may, I only had two other comments on this, and I'll be happy to hand it over to anybody else. And granted, we only had a day to kind of go through this, but the other comment I had, and maybe this doesn't apply either, is 1.3.4.1, which is an addition for create bike lanes on roads. Only because of my recent familiarity with the non-motorized transportation plan, I wondered if we might add in and crosswalks, because crosswalks are a big part of safety in certain areas. It's not needed everywhere, but just it raises attention for that as well.
I like it.
I agree.
Any objections to that then?
Oh,
Okay.
No,
I'm sorry, Trustee Haug?
no,
Oh, okay. And then my last one was on commerce, which, you know, I'm kind of thrilled that we have a little bit more meat on the bones in this
Yeah.
section. And I just had one comment on the very last bullet item, which is 1.6.3, create mechanism to increase dialogue in business community. And I kind of wanted to lift up service here again, quality service, because I think there's two interfaces that we have with the community. One is with our businesses, and the other is with our residents. And we really are there to provide service to both groups, even though they're very different.
yeah.
I agree.
That's all I had.
So would
I'm
you,
excited to see what that ends up looking like. That avenue. Sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
Mark?
to emphasize that I could add to the, following community to ensure quality services are delivered or something to that effect.
Yeah, the way I added it, I just said on that last bullet item, create mechanism to increase dialogue with business community and quality service. Yeah, however you put it in, I think the idea is kind of clear. So at least to me it is. Those are the comments I had. I'm happy to listen to anybody else if they want the floor. Are you going for the record, Bill?
No.
Not to pick on you, but
It happens, it happens.
so let me ask this question then. At least this was an exercise I went through. I went through what I had submitted to Mark and tried to recall the conversation that we all had together. And I tried, my memory obviously is not as good as the document I gave Mark because I don't have to remember that stuff. It's all in black and white, but I did go through my document and felt like what I was trying to articulate was captured in the modifications that our manager made. Did others do that by chance?
Yeah, I looked at them, and from what I could recall, I thought they did a great job hitting all the points that we kind of brought up. So
I know in Trustee Bill's absence, one that she was passionate about was and I'm trying.
There were a couple of them.
Yeah, there were a couple of them. Obviously, with regards to bike lanes on roads.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking for increased use of alternative forms of energy within township facilities and operations.
And purchase policy.
And the purchase policy. Yep, I think we've all mentioned that one. So at least I felt in memory that it was capturing Connie's ideas. So let me just ask, Bill, anything missing from where you were at?
No,
James?
I've got the old one here I'm looking at too.
James?
I mean, I'm actually very pleased and thank you for your work. I mean, Mark, and how do you and your staff feel about what's there? I mean, do you see any hurdles that you would have a tough time overcoming? I know it takes time to develop. Things take time to develop. I understand that, but
Takes time and money.
No, I think that I don't see any internal conflicts within the document, which I look for, so that's good. And then I also think that from our perspective, it's reflecting the emphasis of your board and you as a board elected last November. I don't know if you're the 47th Board of Trustees in here, but there is some number. And I thought it reflected the emphasis that you as a collective body wanted to apply to the community and the organization.
Trustee Brown,
I think it looks good. Yes, very, very good work. I really have no comments.
Clerk Cody,
I think it looks good. Thanks.
is this feedback you're looking for?
It is, and I will make, one, I really appreciate the time you guys have put in over the last couple of months, and I will make a couple of edits based on tonight, and then maybe bring it back to you in a final clean copy along with a red line for the next meeting, and then you can vote on it, and then it'll get inserted into the document.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate your time on this as well. I did make a comment to Mark the other day on the telephone that I was proud of our board because I think we truly invest ourselves at looking at these and trying to envision how to make our township better. And I have to say, not every year I've been on the board, I guess kind of a third term of sorts. Not every board invests themselves in this, and I think it's pretty important because this is our way to message to the staff what our priorities are. So I was really pleased that we all invested ourselves. So unless there's anything else, then maybe we do have a record meeting showing up. But I'm happy to entertain any more comments. I don't want to short cycle somebody here.
I'm good.
All right. Seeing no one jumping forward. Has anybody heard from, I'm kind of curious about Trustee Bills. Has anybody heard any comments from her regarding this?
No,
I have
Not regarding this, no.
No,
Maybe I'll try to reach out to her and just see if she's got any issues. All right, with that then, that finishes our new business. So that takes us to the extended public comment. Extended public comment is restricted to 5 minutes regarding any issue. As always, if you're to approach the board and the public, please state your name and address for the record, and we'll open up extended public comment at 7:33 p.m. And I don't see anybody new in the audience. We'll give it just a minute though. If we drag it out 20 more minutes, Bill, will no longer be a record. So
yeah.
We don't have to do it just to make it no longer a record.
okay,
We've got employees that have been in work all day.
Yeah, I'm seeing no hands. Correct, Mark?
Correct.
Okay, thank you for that. So with that, we'll close extended public comment at 7:34 p.m. And with that, I'd be happy to hand this the floor over to our manager for his comments.
Thank you. And just a couple. First, I want to thank Public Services Director Kim Smith for acting as Township Manager a couple of weeks ago while I was out. Received a lot of positive feedback from many of you regarding her performance and her support of the board, so I really do appreciate that. A reminder that we'll have in-person meetings scheduled for July 28th. And we're in the process of making sure that room is set up, ready to go, and been used for quite some time as a board room. We've had Mac TV in there testing the equipment, and there'll be somebody there to record at our next meeting. The American Rescue Plan Act funding request was submitted by Finance Director Teal yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. Well, that submission has gone in. The latest estimate I've seen is $1.4 million. 50% of that would be received. I'm not sure when, but we've submitted all the paperwork for that request. So that's in process. We'll want to have some internal dialogue, and then probably, I imagine, dialogue arranged with the community more broadly as we work through, how to spend that money. There's no real rush. You have till December 31st of 26 to actually spend the money, and we have 12/31 of 24 to have committed the money. So we do have ample time on that. And then just a quick update on the electronic devices. As I understand it, Trustee Brown, Thering, Clerk Cody, Treasurer Wright, all have their devices. They're set up.
Yes.
Trustee Hauk, if I didn't mention him, he has his set up.
Yep.
Connie's had a mechanical failure after we received it. We've ordered a new one. We got that tracking number yesterday, so it's in the process of being shipped. Yeah, with her setup. And then Supervisor Melky, I think you and I may, as I looked at the last meeting, you and I may need to speak a little bit to make sure I understand what your software needs are so we can get yours configured.
No. In your absence, Cody reached out to me and asked, what do they need? And I kind of felt on the spot a little bit. And so I tried to take a poll so that I could relay to Cody what is he charged to do and put on. And so all I was doing was taking a poll of, do you all need an office or not? Because if you don't, we don't want to pay for it.
Right.
So I don't think so. In fact, Cody and I exchanged voicemails today, and we're planning on meeting tomorrow if all goes as planned. So I'll probably have mine as well.
Okay. So that is all I have. Thank you.
I do have a question for you regarding the next meeting. As you said, it's been a while since we've had any meetings in there. Will we have like the guest Wi-Fi that's off of our normal network for the trustees to connect to with their devices? And you don't have to answer that now, but I think it might be nice.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that. I don't know the answer. I know we have guest Wi-Fi. I just don't know how stable it is in the boardroom. There's certain areas of this building that have a weak signal, but I'll look into that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for our manager? Yes, Treasurer Rice.
I just wanted to clarify. I know Mark had mentioned my name with the new laptops and stuff. I did not get a new one. I've had a new one at the end of the year, but I didn't get a new one with you guys. So just so I don't get multiple people saying, wait a minute, you just got one. Yeah, no. So
Just indicate you're all set.
Yeah. So, okay. I just wanted to clarify. So.
All right, thanks for that. No further questions for our manager. That takes us to item 13 of our agenda, the final board member comment. This time I'll start in reverse order. So Clerk Cody.
No comment.
Good luck on the upcoming election. Thanks for what you're doing. Trustee Brown.
Yeah, I can't tell you how excited I am to go to the first in-person board meeting next week. I've been waiting for this, and I think everybody knows, so I'm gonna voice my opinion. Thank God it's here.
Right.
And I look forward to being with everybody personally. That's all. Thanks again.
Trustee Therian.
Again, I'd like to thank Mark and his staff for the work on the ends. Just excited to see how the current and the new ends develop as time progresses. So.
Trustee Hout.
I just wanted to make a comment. I think the landscaping around the township hall looks great.
Yes,
I mean, it's
Yes, it does.
professional looking. So thanks for getting that done.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Treasurer
you're
Rice?
welcome. And I got to give credit on that to Kim Smith. She worked with the landscape company, designed it, and began that program. And I was the one that originally suggested a guardrail that luckily for us, Ms. Smith agreed to.
Thank you for that, Kim. Treasurer Rice.
I'm good tonight.
All right, I'll just reinforce what Trustee Brown said. I'm really excited to be in person with all of you. Something missing, and not that this hasn't worked and got us by, and we've accomplished some good things over virtual meeting. But I, missed that human connection, right? So I look forward to working with you all in person for once. However, my daughter is getting married at the end of next week, and I may not make the next meeting, which really bums me out because after the wedding, the whole family is getting together for some time, and I'm trying to make arrangements to drive back just for the meeting. But at this point, I can't say that will work. So I'll let the board know as I get closer whether that will work or not.
So you were wanting one more week or one more meeting of a virtual, right?
Yeah, because I was very bummed when I had a good feeling that the first in-person meeting was going to be the 1 week that we're celebrating my daughter's wedding, right?
Hey, you can still join us on Zoom.
Well, I don't have internet where I'm going, which is beautiful, by the way. It's in this valley up north, and there is no cell service, or I got nothing up there. I can't get texts, no Wi-Fi, nothing.
We'll run
Sounds like a great place to move.
Yes.
I think you should enjoy your family. We'll take care of it.
I agree, Brian.
We got your back, Brian.
Opportunities.
Well,
Down every day.
I absolutely. I'm not going to miss the wedding for sure. But if I'm able to get away and it works out, I'll drive down, hit the meeting, drive back. But in any event, I want to let you know there's a good possibility I won't be here on the 28th.
All right.
So, and then I think that's all I have. So that concludes our meeting, I guess. So with that, I'll
make a motion we adjourn.
That's what I'm looking for.
Support.
All right, we get a motion by Rice, support by Brown to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, raise your hand. Unanimous.
There you go, Bill.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Thanks all.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.